Hello everyone and welcome to DC Central. In today's video we're going to be going over and discussing the theory and speculation that Carlos Valdes, who plays Cisco Ramon on The Flash, is going to be leaving in either the back half or the very end of Season 5. So let's discuss. So Cisco Ramon, aka Vibe, has of course been on The Flash since the very beginning. Since episode 1 we have seen Cisco on this show, and it's been really awesome having him as a piece of Team Flash. I really honestly believe that Cisco is just the real heart and soul of the show, and without him being on The Flash, it feels like there'd be something significantly missing, like some significant piece of the show would be gone if Cisco wasn't there. So I feel like, you know, this whole news and this whole speculation about Cisco leaving the show at the end of the season is quite a scary thought. These speculations began before the season itself began, before Season 5 started. I believe it was around Comic-Con time. People were talking about the possibility of Carlos Valdes wanting to leave the show and wanting to go and leave the character of Cisco behind and move on to other projects. And as an actor, obviously you can respect those decisions. You know, we've recently seen a similar thing with Keenan Lonsdale on The Flash, who plays Wally. He left the show and he also left Legends to go and continue on other parts of his career where he felt like he'd be more successful. If Carlos Valdes has that kind of similar mindset, like if he believes that he could do, you know, some other work elsewhere, maybe back on Broadway, which is obviously where he came from, or maybe he has other work and other TV or movie offers coming in, then he could be taking those kind of risks and those type of chances as well, which again could benefit him massively if it goes well. And, you know, like I say, as an actor, you can respect those decisions and you can see where he's coming from with those sort of things. So while they are the reasons why Carlos Valdes would most likely like to leave the show, what are the reasons for Cisco leaving? Well, this season in particular on The Flash, we have had a couple of different things that have really hinted at the potential and possibility of Cisco leaving the show this season. Firstly, Cisco losing his powers. This is the first thing that really was like a hint that maybe this could be happening. Obviously, in episode 3, we had Cisco fight Cicada, and in that fight, Cicada slashed his hands with the dagger, and we saw him actually lose his powers. Now, he hasn't fully lost his powers, but he has, he can't use them to the same extent he used to in, you know, seasons 2, 3, and 4. He can't use them to the same extent, and it also actually physically harms him when he does use his powers. So it's interesting that they went in that direction, because I thought, well, Cisco as a character is someone who will be around for a long time. Vibe as a superhero is somebody who is very beneficial to the team, somebody who, even in the grander context of the Arrowverse, is very, very useful, like when it comes to crossovers and things. So, you know, the fact that they got rid of his powers, or at least significantly suppressed his powers this season on The Flash, was a very interesting story beat, and something I didn't expect them to do. But given this news and given all this speculation, it seems like that maybe they had a bigger reason at play here, which is that Cisco could leave the show. Also, a lot more recently, we've seen Cisco be a bit more anti-metahuman than what he has been in the past few years. We've seen him obviously begin to develop a Metahuman Cure, and he was saying to Caitlin, you know, he was saying the reason why he's creating this cure is he doesn't want to be Vibe forever. He doesn't want to be a superhero forever. He doesn't want to be dealing with metahumans and, you know, bad guys every single week. He wants to have a wife. He wants to have a child. He wants to have a life outside of being a superhero, which is a completely kind of different mindset than what you might expect for Cisco. You know, Cisco typically being the, you know, the one who is really a fan of superheroes and things like that. You would think he'd want to be a part of this life forever, but it seems like now Cisco is really changing his mind and all that, and is actually saying, no, I want to settle down, I want to get away from all this life, I want to move away from this, and the Metahuman Cure is the way to do that, just to completely get rid of his powers entirely, so he doesn't have to deal with any of that. And again, this is another hint that Cisco could be leaving the show, in the sense that he just doesn't want to be a part of this team anymore, because it's just, you know, a part of a life that he wants to leave behind. Also, in an episode coming up, we actually see that Cisco is going to be meeting a new female character who goes by the name of Camilla. She's a bartender, and it's very interesting. I'll show the photo on screen now. This is the promo photo, I believe, for episode 11, or episode 12, sorry, which is the next episode of The Flash. Or it might be episode 13, not too sure. But it's really interesting because you can see that he is meeting this woman, and obviously Cisco saying that he wants to settle down, he wants to have a wife, he wants to, you know, have a relationship. This could be another sort of get out card for Cisco, in the sense that he meets Camilla and, you know, they form a very strong bond, they form a relationship together, and then Cisco is going to want to leave to focus on that and be with Camilla and focus on the future with him and Camilla. I think this is, again, another big sign that Cisco is leaving the show. I think this is something that, you know, all these different elements, from him losing his powers to him wanting to get rid of his powers entirely with the cure and meeting a new female love interest, is you know, these are all big signs, you know, especially because it lines up with what Cisco's been saying this season, that he very well could be leaving the show by the end of the season. Personally, I'd hate to see Cisco leave, but like I say, I think not all characters can stick around forever, and also if Carlos Valdes wants to move on and do other things, then I completely respect that decision. Because, you know, being tied to one TV show for, you know, 5 years at this point, that's a lot of time and commitment gone that could have been spent elsewhere. And I'm not saying that TV actors shouldn't do that, I'm just saying, you know, you get my point. You know, there's a lot of other opportunities out there that perhaps he would have had to pass by due to his scheduling with The Flash. So, you know, from an acting standpoint, I completely understand why he's doing this. It's just going to be very sad to see Cisco go if he does leave, because Cisco is the real heart and soul of the show, like I said, and it would be a massive loss to the show if he would go. It would feel like a massive piece of what made the show what it is would be missing. It'd be like on Arrow if they ever kill off Diggle. Like, if Diggle ever leaves Arrow, then, you know, again, a massive part of Arrow and what makes it what it is will be gone. And I feel like the same could be applied to Cisco. You know, there are kind of just some characters on some shows that, you know, make it what it is, and without them, it would be, you know, it would feel very, very different. And, you know, that would definitely apply here to Cisco. If he goes, this show is going to be so, so different to what we've known it to be for all this time. Now, could we see a replacement for Cisco? Well, potentially. I've actually seen this been brought up elsewhere, but if you remember back to the first episode of this season when Barry got the new suit, Nora actually said that it wasn't Cisco who made the suit, it was actually Ryan Choi. Now, Ryan Choi is, I believe, the third person to take up the mantle of the Atom. So yes, the Atom, the character who is on Legends of Tomorrow, the person to take it up after Ray Palmer is Ryan Choi. So could we see Ryan Choi come to The Flash? Is that what this is doing? Is that what they were setting up there by name-dropping him? Because if we're going to be getting this suit, you know, or if we were meant to get this suit in the next sort of few years anyway, then that means Ryan Choi must be around. That means Ryan Choi must come to this sort of time period, or at least must be involved with Team Flash at some point soon. So could that mean season 6? Like, who knows? But I feel like if they want to replace Cisco, like, if they need to get that type of character, because let's be honest, we all need a guy in a chair. Every superhero show needs one. Then, if we're not going to have Cisco, Ryan Choi seems to be the next choice, because obviously, like I say, he was already set up, he's been name-dropped, and also we've seen him, you know, we know he developed the suit that that Barry currently wears. So, it's been set up, it's been established, so it seems like Ryan Choi could be the replacement and the successor for Cisco if he leaves the show. Overall, though, like I say, it'd be a massive shame if Cisco left the show. It would feel completely different and feel like a massive piece of the show's heart would be missing, and that'd be a real shame to see. But like I say, Carlos Valdes is an actor, he can't stick around forever, and neither can the character of Cisco, and I feel like they need to definitely move on and continue on with further parts of his career. And with that, you know, the fact they have Ryan Choi basically established as a follow-on is, you know, it was good setup, it was good storytelling in that way, if that's what they were intending. They could just got lucky there. They could have gotten completely lucky by, you know, just chucking in a DC reference, and then they can actually use that as a replacement for Cisco. You know, they could just get lucky there. But if it was, you know, premeditated, then that could be a very clever piece of writing that they've done there. And like I say, it would be a massive shame to see Cisco go. Will he die? I've seen some people speculating that he could be killed off this season. I don't think he'll die. Just because Cisco is one of those characters who you definitely want to see come back at some point, like, and I feel like Carlos Valdes totally would, like, he'd totally come back, whether it be in the crossovers, whether it just be in an episode here or there. You know, we just get him show up every now and then, like Wally does. You know, Wally just shows up every now and then. I think, like, we could do something like that with Cisco. I don't think they'll kill him. And again, that would completely go against, you know, why he would leave, which is to start a life and get away from it. If he died, it would be completely contradictory to that. So I don't think Cisco's going to die, but just him leaving the show in general is a really scary thought, and something that I don't really want to consider, but at this point, I feel like I'm going to have to, and by the end of this season, we could see Cisco leaving The Flash. So thank you guys for watching this video on DC Central. If you enjoyed it and want to see more DC content, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload, and I hope to see you guys again next time.